On June 2nd, Governor Walz signed into law an almost $93 million mental health package, of which $30 million will close a loophole that left individuals who were deemed mentally incompetent to stand trial untreated and unsupervised.
And this next piece of legislation that we'll sign revamps our state's competency statutes. And the whole focus on this is to make sure that we are addressing the needs, especially as they intersect with the criminal justice system, on the mental health needs, to making sure that, that victims' rights are certainly lifted up and are there, but understanding what it takes to get rehabilitation. And the folks standing behind me, from advocates in mental health to law enforcement to victims themselves and their families, but with an understanding of mental health issues, are not synonymous with violence in all cases, and with that being the case in most cases, with that being the premise of how they tried to write this and did, it makes changes to Minnesota statutes to bring people back to that point where they can re-enter and thrive and be productive members of society.
The legislation that we passed with 3 minutes to go on the last night of session literally not only will save lives, but it will restore lives. This came up a number of months before the second year of the biennium, and it's just got tragedy written all over it if we didn't do something. The number of families, the number of communities that have been begging and pleading for reform to Rule 20 have not been without being heard, and you see behind me those people. This is significant legislation. It is complicated. This was probably by far, in my estimation, the heaviest lift that this legislature and this biennium took on.
This legislation will save lives. This legislation will absolutely save lives. And what it took to get it done was quite remarkable. And the story behind the scenes was one that probably will never be told. But I want to thank everybody for all of your courage that it took, especially you, Representative Albright, the courage that it took to get this bipartisan work done.
This is what happens when people put aside issues and solve a problem that really needed to be solved. And good policy comes from it.
I recently spoke with Senator Karla Bigham, who was a co-author of the new laws. I began by asking her to describe what was happening.
Yeah, it's actually quite horrific that people that were deemed incompetent to stand trial for mental health or chemical health issues were not being tracked. There was no law requiring them to get treatment. There was no law that required a state agency or local agency to provide it. So they were kind of left on their own, and there were horrific incidences of brutal murders and assaults that are just unimaginable. And the tragedies that unfolded due to the gap in this system, we now have closed. And so we're gonna continue to work on refining the legislation that passed. But it is a monumental step forward, and it's nation leading, and it will make our communities safer.
The CARE story highlighted the problem and raised awareness, prompting an urgency. This was an urgent thing among bipartisan lawmakers to get something done. According to Sue Abderholden, who is the executive director of NAMI Minnesota, the National Alliance on Mental Illness Minnesota, she said that about 3,000 people each year are found to be incompetent to stand trial. So what will be different now?
So first, thank you to Sue and NAMI for being a part of this, to the county attorneys, the judges, and our county friends, and the bipartisan group of legislators that took this on. What will be different is there will be an established council that will set forward standards and assign a navigator to somebody who's been deemed incompetent, depending on the severity of the crime, misdemeanor, felony type. There'll be a review and a determination of a case plan. That navigator will then be with the person to restoration, and if there isn't restoration, then there's a different process that goes forward. But there will be legal representation, and that, I believe, best treats the situation so that people are getting services they need.
So essentially, what you're saying. It's a state competency restoration board is going to be created in the judicial branch. And this new role that you've just described, forensic navigators, will be created. Those people will, so where people would fall through that loophole and have no access to anything, that forensic navigator will then guide them.
Think of it as a guardian ad litem. It's very much an equivalent to that. And so they will be with them once a plan is established and developed between the judicial branch, and the lawyers and service providers. This navigator will make sure that they're going to appointments, that they have transportation, that they have housing, that they're taking their medicine, that they're going to their therapy appointments, that they're meeting with their probation officer, different things like that, to make sure they're getting the services they need to be restored. And if it's determined that they can't be restored, then again, it goes down a different legal path. And really, this just, it closes that gap that people had not been receiving.
This new law will allocate $30 million to close this loophole. Presumably, this is just funding to get the program off the ground, and in future years, it will require ongoing funding?
It absolutely will. So this was my one job when Senator Abler brought me on. He called me up, and because I had called him first to say, hey, man, we got a problem here, we got to fix this. He's like, absolutely, Senator Bigham, we got to do this. So we worked together, but my job was to make sure this was not an unfunded mandate, because those happen far too frequently to counties and to the judicial branch. So this money will be to start the forensic navigators up, and the board up, the competency board up, and then we will have to allocate, or I shall say future legislators, not me, will have to allocate money to keep this going. And I have no doubt that this program will be successful, that it will show the results it needs, and that they will fund it, because I think we're going to feel a real impact on this. Families will, and society will.
The measure was included with others as part of a larger package to improve mental health access and services throughout the state. The mental health package that this was part of almost didn't make it. The House passed it just minutes before midnight. Since you're not coming back to the legislature, I feel like I can ask you this question. Why does it seem like the legislature consistently waits until the last possible minute to get important work done?
You know, I'm a football fan, and I think the legislature needs to start practicing the 2-minute drill, because that's about how much time we had left to pass this. It was very nerve-wracking. You know, I think it's just a power thing, a negotiating thing. They think they can get one more thing out of it, or it's you know, it's frustrating. It's what the voters don't like about it. It's one of the most frustrating things that I've had experience over 9 years here. It's just so unnecessary. And it passes unanimously in the Senate, and you know, it's frustrating. I wish I had a straight answer why, but it just seems no matter who's in charge, no matter who the leaders are, it happens. So I think it's just part of the environment we're in. But this has been going on for quite a while, and it's just, I think it's a way to try to get more out of a negotiation.
Well, we're going to close with your parting thoughts, a little bit more on your parting thoughts, because you served in the House for 4 years. Yep. You've been with the Senate since 2018, but you are seeking another office and not planning to return to the Senate. What are your proudest Senate accomplishments, and what will you miss most?
I think the work on behalf of the residents is what I will miss the most, because it's such an important level, and the trust that they've given me is immense and appreciated. And so I'll miss that side of coming up here. Biggest accomplishments, or most important to me, I think would be the peer support or the critical incident stress management training for law enforcement was a big deal. I think the reforms of hemp law. I have the largest hemp farm, and that's been quite a topic.
Especially of late, since July 1st.
Yes, and you know, really clean water. You know, my area, the East Metro, has contaminated PFAS water, and all of those things that I have enjoyed working with my local governments and my residents on. So it's been an honor of a lifetime to be up here, and it's such an amazing opportunity bestowed upon me by the voters, and I thank them very much.
Senator Karla Bigham, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.